When walking along the shores of Lake Victoria or many fish processing industries, you will easily see scattered fish skin that has been discarded as waste products. In Kisumu alone, the home of several filleting factories, it produces close to 150 tons of fish waste every year. The waste products are mainly the skin, the bones, the intestines, and the head. These products are also environmental pollutants. Have you ever thought of a fish outside your plate as a meal? Well, this fish skin is used to make products such as shoes and a cap. Join me in telling the story. Yes, Mr. Owino.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm good.
Uko salama kabisa?
Kabisa.
Naona unafanya mambo ya maajabu ajabu hapa.
Tunaendelea na mambo ya ngozi ya samaki. Natengeneza ikue
I can see. But for one Newton Owino, the wastes were a blessing in disguise. He would scratch his head for weeks on how to mint millions from the waste products, and so in 2010, Owino took a leap of faith and established a tanning plant venture known as Alisam Products Development and Design.
Our core business here is actually to convert fish waste into sellable items, and I'm focusing more on fish skin. Well, in Kisumu, we have almost 9 fish filleting industries. And every year, they produce close to 150,000 metric tons of fish waste. And all these are actually getting disposed. Initially, they were doing what we call landfill. That is digging the gullies and burying all this. But later on, the National Environment Management Authority came up with an idea of incineration, burning this. And as they were burning this, again created another problem. That is, the whole stench was getting into the city. So personally, I'm an industrial chemist, and I thought of coming up with an idea which is more sustainable and an idea that is more environmentally friendly of how to manage all these fish waste along Lake Victoria. And this idea was actually to convert them into leather, which later on we develop other leather goods out of it.
Owino, a holder of Bachelor of Science in Industrial Chemistry from Pantnagar University in India, decided to put his boots on ground. He started sourcing for fish wastes from industry, markets, and dump sites. After assembling his products, the tanning process begins with careful removal of scales from the fish skin, followed by a week of drying to prepare the skin for tanning. The tanning process involves soaking of the fish skin into a drum to remove the remaining flesh. Some of the reagents that Owino uses in the tanning process, enzymes from pawpaw, banana, and cassava plants to remove the smell, smoothen, and strengthen the fiber of the skin.
Fish skin into leather is in 3 stages. The first stage, we call it pre-tanning operation. This is done at the source. That's the removal of the scales, and they use just crude weapons like the knife and others to remove the scale and to remove the flesh. Now, once that is happened, the name of this skin now changes into pelt. It's no longer called skin. So once the pelt arrives here, now we subject it to the second stage that we call the tanning. Now, tanning the essence of tanning is now to get rid of the smell. That is number one. And this is where now we use the sanding from cassava. We get the compounds of cassava, and then we do the measurements based on the weight of the skin, and then we do the soaking. Now this actually the first stage of tanning. Then we have the second stage of tanning, which now entails the strengthening of the fibers. Every skin has 5 fibers, but the essence of tanning is actually to strengthen the fibers so that we give it permanent preservation. Now this is where now we get the phenolic acids from banana. Remember, the tannin gets rid of the smell. Then the banana now comes in to strengthen it such that it becomes much strong. Yeah, there is what we call tensile strength of leather. And this, you'll only achieve it very well when you use the phenolic acids from the pseudostem of bananas. Then the papain, to avoid the bristleness of the pelt, you will use the papain, which is more of a proteinous part of the process. This will soften the pelt so that it becomes much softer and very easy to work with. Now, once all these 3 processes are done, now you have what is called a leather. Now, this leather, the third phase of it is now what we call post-tanning processes. And this now involves what we call dry shop. Dry shop means now we are not going to use water anymore. And this now involves the stitching, the cutting of leather, and making the leather goods as you see behind me.
When the tanning process is over and the skins are dry, the tailoring process is where now several products are made. Some of the products that Owino makes are office shoes, sports shoes, boots, sandals, fish leather jackets, belts, gloves, chairs, drums, capes, hats, wallets, bags, and other products depending on customers' request.
And we also have a number of products that we develop based on people's requests. Like I have a team from Trinidad that I met, and we designed for them that kind of hat because of the Rastafarian kind of hair. Yes, so this one again we are shipping to Trinidad. We also have belts that we are producing. We have the fish leather jackets, and a range of this.
Owino utilizes natural dyes derived from his Kajulu farm in Kisumu to add vibrant and unique colors to his products.
We have a number of clients who will not wish to use our leather in its natural form, in its original form, the way it looks like fish. They will want to give it different dyes. They will want to have it in different colors. But these again, based on our principles, we are not using synthetic dyes because of, I'm a member of World Fair Trade Organization, which requires that we don't use any chemical that is harmful to the environment. Therefore, the plants that we have around here is called indigo Indigofera tintoria. This gives us the blue dye. We also have a range, strains of algae that we have here. The first one that we have is chlorophyta, that gives us the green dye. We have the rhodophyta that gives us red dye, and then we have the phaeophyta that gives us brown dye. We also have other plants around here. One of them is called hibiscus. This gives us purple dyes. So these are the dyes that I actually use to change, or rather to give our leather very bright colors.
Apart from local Kenyan market, Owino has customers within Africa in Zambia, South Africa, Ethiopia, and Egypt. His products are also exported to non-African countries such as Iceland, France, Poland, the United States, China, and Canada.
The market segment that I have is quite large. And this means our production is very low as compared to what is required outside there. Unfortunately, I started by export. And this came as a result of the involvement of United Nations through a program we call Switch Africa Green. I was lucky enough that when I started this kind of production, the United Nations, through the program we call Switch Africa Green, identified my work. And they were so much impressed that they involved me in all the activities. And through this, they created what we call a niche market for me. And this niche market was specifically for export. So that's how I got into the export. That is number one. Number two, locally, I decided to come up with a group of the local people who were initially just repairing shoes. But through the support of the United Nations and this program called Switch Africa Green, they actually help us to train these local shoe repairers to become shoemakers, that now they can make shoes for the export market. Now, we formed that group, we call it Kisumu Leather Dealers Association, of which I did form the group. And they were given this training. So right now as we speak, these people are now turned to be the consumers of our leather locally. So they make shoes out of my leather, and they also market within the country. We've developed a number of products. We have the leather shoes, as the sports shoes. We have what I may call, in quotes, boots. This is for official. We also have the sandals like the ones I'm putting on, but we also have them here. We have the fish leather jackets, that is there. We have the caps. And we also have a number of products that we develop based on people's requests. Like I have a team from Trinidad that I met, and we designed for them that kind of hat because of the Rastafarian kind of hair.
Owino has 17 permanent employees and over 350 whom he employs part-time depending on the market demands. His venture is currently worth 110 million, and he hopes to open a leather school that will teach entrepreneurs sustainable processes of production. Kevin Sewe, Mwanzo TV.